morning, beautiful people. So today is July 3rd. It's Monday, 6:15. Actually, 6:20. I take it back. Driving out to Largo right now. Got to drop this one off for one of my roofers. Picking up another one in Tampa. Got to dump that. Going back home. Getting the trailer off the truck, and then going out to Zephyrhills to pick up a dump trailer. So not a lot of tasks, but a ton of driving for what I'm doing. Essentially, it's 1 hour increments between each spot. So 5-10 minute load up time, drive to Largo for 45 minutes to 50 minutes, another 10-15 minutes of unloading. Then you get to drive straight to Tampa. It's about a 40-45 minute drive. Once again, got to do the loading. Then I got to take that to the dump and get home. So the way I try to do my days, I try to start my day based on when the first task is going to get dropped, involved with a customer essentially, or when the dump opens, depending on what I have to do. So if, for example, I'm driving right now to Largo, I've got an empty bin on the back, so I'm going to try to time it to be there at around 7, which right now I'm arrival window 7:07 is what my GPS says. So yeah, if there is a person that lives there, because this is for a roofer, I don't actually have the contact to the homeowner. I did ask them if anyone lives there. They couldn't get an answer. It took literally two times I asked that question over the span of a week. No one could answer that question. So if someone does live there, I got to do a little bit of door knocking. Sorry, it's unfortunate. You're getting a roof put on your house. I don't know what to say to you. And then if no one lives there, then I'm just getting it dropped around 7 a.m. because I don't want to annoy the hell out of the neighbors. I got a motor on my trailer, so I can run it pretty quietly, but respectfully, it doesn't look great on my business if I'm waking up the neighbors, so I just try not to do that. If it's a very rural or very important job and someone says, hey, can you get it there at 6 a.m.? I'll find a way. I'm not worried about it, but either way. So this one's going to a roofer. I am interested to see how it works out, because it does look like a smaller driveway situation, but we are going to find out today. So you're always going to lose the battles you don't fight, so you might as well give it a shot and just see what happens. But as soon as that one's done, the one in Tampa is a 20-yarder. They were doing some kind of remodel. I'm not real sure exactly what all is going to be in there, but it is a 20-yarder, so it might get heavy. And then, yeah, the one in Zephyrhills, mostly carpet, shouldn't be too big a deal, but both are 20-yarders, so should be decent loads. Yeah, I guess I'll update you when we get to Largo. All right, we're about to pull up. So I looked this one up on Google last night. I don't know how crazy it's going to be. The gate looks like it's a little bit small. I considered doing my dump trailer, but logistically it was just a lot more work to go get the dump trailer and bring it out here, and I still got to pick up a bin from Tampa, so we are going to make it work. But essentially it looks like a duplex. I can't quite tell. The address that I have is for one side of the building, it looks like. So I'm assuming they're doing both sides. Maybe the other driveway is still usable, but as of this exact moment, it looks like the gate side is what I'm gonna have to use. So we will find out when I pull up here. It's another fun part of the job. So we are hoping to get this dumpster dropped, but no one is answering the door. So this will be fun. All right, I feel like a little bit of a dummy. So last night I researched this property. I looked it up on Google Maps, and it showed the unit to the left as though it was a duplex, with the unit that I'm supposed to drop at being the unit on the right of that building. I knocked and I knocked and I knocked, and dogs are barking, and it's kind of early. It's still 7:30. So I contacted my roofer, And I asked him, and I even said, also, is this a duplex? Because I could probably drop it in the other driveway. And he said, no, it's not a duplex. So I am looking, and then I look at the neighbor's house. It's got roofing all over the it's got roofing all over the top of the building. So the obviously roofing supplies are a good indicator when you're pulling up to a roof job of which unit is yours. You also have to check the unit numbers. I'm pretty sure on Google that the building I just dropped at didn't have the unit numbers on it when I looked it up, but that I may be wrong on that. I'd have to double check. Either way, I'm glad that that tenant didn't answer their door and yell at me for waking them up at 7:30 in the morning when they're not getting a roof done. Also, I'm glad I got it dropped at the right place. So life is good. We are now done with the St. Pete, Seminole, Largo drop. Now we are going out to Tampa, pick up this one I dropped last week, get it dumped, and then get home so I can go do this all again out in Zephyrhills. So if you're afraid of bridges, maybe don't move to Tampa. If you're not familiar with it, St. Pete and Tampa are on the opposite sides of Tampa Bay from each other. So there's a handful of bridges that go from one point to another. Most of my stuff does not require going across a bridge, but a fair amount of it does. Basically every time I go into St. Pete, Largo, even some Clearwater, I end up going across a bridge. I mean, you end up going across a lot of little bridges, but I mean like big bridges. There's like 3 or 4 of them that I cross. Not necessarily regularly, but kind of regularly. So that's a fear of yours. Maybe move to Missouri or something. All right, easy enough. They moved the cars out of the way, thankfully. The dumpster was nicely loaded to the top, but it is heavy. I don't know exactly what this one's gonna weigh, but this will be if I had to guess, 3.5 to 5 ton load, which for like remodeling is pretty dang heavy. Usually they don't end up getting over about 3 tons, but this one is a 20 and it is loaded to the top. So, guess I probably should have rolled my window up to do some recording. At any rate, so I'm in the neighborhood of my old dealership. I'm gonna actually slide through there and harass them real quick. Just say hi, keep my name on everybody's mind, because you never know when someone needs a dumpster. I've already booked a few of them from different guys at this dealership. Actually, one of their GM, their GM and one of their salespeople have booked through me this year, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, so maybe I'll get a little footage when I roll through there. But I'm gonna say hi to some of my old Toyota Tampa Bay people. Just, you know, be friendly. That's all. All right, and just as I expected, you go pop in, you say hi to some people. People go, hey, how you doing? I ain't seen you in a minute. And then the magical thing happens. They go, hey, my girlfriend, my cousin, my aunt, my uncle, they need your services. Let me go ahead and call them. I'm gonna tell them to go book the dumpster. So that's the kind of stuff that you gotta always be out and about and saying hi to people, shaking hands, kissing babies, the whole 9 yards, because you have just no idea what interaction is gonna spark that thing in that person's mind to go, all right, time to actually do it. Right? So they haven't booked officially yet, but they've already used me one time. They're gonna use me a second time. Now we just gotta square it all the way. But essentially, that is what you need to, if you're gonna be a business owner, that is what you need to get in the habit of. We are heading home. I actually was thinking about dumping this one in Tampa, but it's gonna be just a little bit cheaper to dump back home, I think. Ultimately, my transfer station back at home for construction debris is $47 a ton. The dump here is $59 a ton, I believe, something along those lines. The dump here is much more relaxed, so if, for example, I dump this out and there's a roll of carpet in there, then I'm gonna end up paying the higher rate, which is unfortunate. So we have really got to hope that there's nothing hidden in there. But it looks like all drywall and walls, from what I can tell. So I'm gonna go dump her on out, find out, and then I gotta actually pick up my son, and then we're gonna go out to Zephyrhills. So I have my little boy staying over at his cousin's house, my sister's, hanging out with his cousin. So always something to do. All right, so that one ended up being 3.2 tons. It was actually 3.11 tons. Where am I going? Yeah, I'll go this way. 3.11 tons. It was a rental that included 2 tons, and each additional ton bills out at $85 a ton. So essentially, if you look at the math and how this works out, the original booking was $425 plus $40 in fuel charge for the distance. This was an online order, so it was $465 plus tax, and then I just did 1.2 tons, so another 105, I think, dollars before tax, something along those lines. So essentially, what I was getting at, so the rental itself was close to 700 bucks total. I ended up profiting pretty close to $400 after fuel and dump fees. So yeah, I mean, every job's going to be a little different. The beautiful thing about it, so the way I get to that profit, when you do heavy loads, generally speaking, they're going to be construction, and construction debris, at least for me, dumps for less than residential stuff does. So in that case, they had a full 20-yard dumpster, drywall, wood, you name it, from a remodel. Ended up being 3.2 tons, bills out at 47. I think they do like a BS 12% charge on top. $47 a ton, 3.1 tons, 3.11 tons. Ultimately ends up being $171 dump fee for me on a job for almost $700. So works out to be a pretty good ticket when it all boils down to it. Pretty happy with that one. And then my fuel charge is now kicking in and saving me quite a bit of money, which is nice. I actually just started doing the fuel thing a few months ago, maybe 2-3 months ago. When I do orders over the phone, sometimes either I chicken out or I forget to add the fuel charge, but all my online orders automatically bill it, which is nice. So if anyone's contemplating ordering and they just book through the website, I don't even have to think about it. They just get tacked on with that little bit of extra charge, which is nice. I do every 10 miles an additional $20. So the first 10 is included in the price. The second 10 would be 20. So for miles 10 to 20 is 20 extra bucks. And then miles 21 to 30 is 40 extra bucks. Then 30 to 40 is 60 extra bucks. I generally don't get anything beyond 30 miles, although it is definitely possible. It's pretty rare. It's a good distance for me. 30 miles works out to be, give or take, 45 minutes to 50 minutes from home base in any given direction. Just kind of depends on where you're going. If I'm going north, it's a lot more interstate, so I get there faster. Occasionally I'll get like a Dade City's about 40 miles from me type of thing. But yeah, it's pretty rare. Most of them, I would say my average rental is somewhere between 10 and 28 miles. So yeah, the really close ones are great. You're always happy to have them, but it's the reality of this business. Is there's a lot of dumpsters to get, and a lot of people, and not all of them in your area are going to need a dumpster. So it's like, get in where you fit in. Whew. So that was fun. I set this dump trailer in their driveway, and then the customer walked out, and while we were chatting, I asked if he wanted me to move it over just a little bit. They had like their primary driveway, and then they had like a 2 or 3 foot wide section of like extra laid concrete. So their driveway was a little wider past the sidewalk than the apron, if that makes sense. Which I did, and then it slipped my mind. It's not his responsibility, it slipped my mind. I didn't think about it, but I had already opened the doors, and then when I parked it, there was a flagpole that neither one of us were thinking about, and ultimately it ended up keeping them from being able to close the doors, which is not great when it's a super full load, which this one is. So thankfully I was able to move the trailer enough to get the door closed without anything falling out, but they used 18 of the 20 yards at least. Generally, when you get a full dumpster and you have to close the doors after the fact, what you have to really worry about is how they loaded it and whether or not the interior door is able to line up flush, because you'll never get both of them closed if that one doesn't. So thankfully they were wise in the way that they loaded, and then I helped them load one or two things when I first pulled up, and then I obviously I got the doors closed, loaded those on top so that they didn't have any issues where they fell out. So that worked out well. Their stuff's all gone. I'm on the road, and it's not hanging out the top or over the side or anything like that. So another successful pickup. I do got to dump it though. This one's going to be heavy. I'm not sure how heavy. If I had to guess, it's probably over 2 tons, but probably under 3, maybe around 3. I am headed to the dump now. Logistically speaking, it would be nice to take this to a different dump. I have a feeling I'm going to pay class 3 rate for this one, but I've got to find out if there's any carpet or anything like that under it. It looks like all construction debris from up top, but I believe they told me when they were booking that it was for carpet, so there's probably carpet at the bottom. At any rate, when I get to the dump, I will let everyone know. We got a little 35-minute drive to get there. Once I hit the dump, my dumpster day is done. I'm just gonna go pick up my son. My sister kept him a little bit longer, which is nice, so I got to do this final run. And the wife's not losing her mind with all 3 kids. It's funny because the longer the video goes, the crazier my hair gets. So it's like you can kind of see where we're at in the video based on how much of that is just chaos. So at any rate, I just dumped the Zephyrhills bin, 3.11 tons. So nice heavy load. Generally like a 20-yard dumpster remodel dump trailer. Generally I'm not getting more than 2.5 tons, but this one was like full. And then they also had like not cement, they had brick, like red brick. They had bricks kind of stacked up in the back a little bit. Not a lot, but you know, it's like that kind of stuff does add up. Ultimately, short story for you, and then I'll close out this video. So the dump I just went to charges 2 different price points. I know we've gone over that. 47 and 85, 47 and 75, sorry. And then there's a small percentage fee on top. The shed demo I did a few weeks ago was 3.5 tons. I pull in there, tell them, yep, it's all construction. And as I am coming out back to the scale house lady goes, yeah, they told me it was class 3. And I go, why would they tell you that? Because it was definitely a shed. At any rate, so they called it class 3 because the homeowner, while demoing the shed, ended up putting like half a trash can's worth of Christmas decorations in there. So 3.5 tons at it's basically $85. At $85 is a lot more expensive than 3.5 tons at $47. So they tried to charge me $200 extra for 50 cents worth of Christmas decoration trash, essentially. And I had to get into a big old altercation. I had to not yell at, but I had to speak loudly at and get frustrated with the scale house employees, which is not fun because those people ultimately you're going to see a lot of times in a day, and they do have an effect on how much money you pay for stuff. So I kind of argued it with them a little bit, And then the agreement we came to was I was just gonna go back into the dump, pull the shit out, and then they charge me my class, or my construction instead of class 3. So I decided to do that, rode back in there, pulled the stuff out, literally put it in a trash can. I'll try to add the picture. Literally put it in a trash can at my house, took it to my residential trash, and just got rid of it that way. So it's been weird being at that dump since then. Like, the employees that I've gotten a little annoyed with were a little salty. They've been slowly easing back, because I'm a nice guy. I don't say much generally when I'm in a place like that. And when I do say something, it's good morning, how you doing? Hope you have a good day, you know, that kind of, I'm making niceties and moving on, right? I don't bring no bullshit unless you bring bullshit to me. So, it's been a little weird. Today was like, felt like the ice is almost broken off and we're all gonna move on with our lives. The gentleman that called in the class 3, the one that works in the landfill that talks to the scale house, slowly warming back up to me. He's been a little annoyed with me because ultimately he felt like I was annoyed at him, but I wasn't. I was annoyed at the scale house for trying to, he's just got to do his job. He tells them what I dumped, they make a judgment call, and their judgment call was that, you know, 50 cents worth of Christmas decoration trash needed to be $200. So today I dumped out the remodel. It had a ton of carpet in it, but I couldn't actually see it. And after I told him it was a remodel and dumped it, he goes, hey, you know, that's class 3. I say, oh yeah, absolutely, you know, no problem. And then I packed up, headed out. When I got to the scale house, she said 171 as I handed her my card. So I said, huh, I wonder what's going on here. They didn't call in the class 3. So I got charged for construction debris, even though it had a lot of carpet in it, which by their standards is class 3. So you win some, you lose some, but always put up a fight. Don't let them push you over, because they will absolutely ring you over the coals if they can. Otherwise, I'm getting out of here. Gonna go pick up my kid. Y'all have a great day today. If you're out there hustling dumpsters, get at it. If you're not hustling dumpsters, then I hope I could help you out a little bit, maybe give you the education you needed so that you can start hustling dumpsters, because it seems everyone wants to hustle dumpsters. So have a good one, guys.